Hi, thank you for joining me today. Welcome to my channel, Yoda Yoga and 10-minute timeout. These 10-minute timeouts are meant to either slow things down for you or maybe energize you, but made to be able to be done in just 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, at any point in your day. Maybe you need a little break on your lunch, or you need some help waking yourself up in the morning, or maybe to help you slow things down at the end of the night. So I currently have a yoga mat, and I am sitting on a yoga pillow. These are not necessary. The mat, I do suggest some kind of a mat or working on a hardwood floor if you have that accessible to you. A pillow, a block, blankets always work, towels always work if you feel you need to use a prop to sit up a little bit taller, which is how I am choosing to start out today. I do like the length that it gives me in the spine. So let's get started and let's come to that comfortable seat, rooting the sit bones down into your mat or into your prop. You're welcome to bring the eyes closed and start to breathe in and out of the nose. Make this a nice, smooth, even breath, inhaling and exhaling, maybe for a count of 6. Starting to bring some awareness to your surroundings. This can help to calm the central nervous system and quiet the mind. On your next inhale, with eyes opened or eyes closed, sweep the arms up overhead, fingertips to touch. Maybe you glance up at those fingertips. Press the palms together, bring them down through heart center. Take one cycle of breath here, inhaling through the nose. Sigh it out of the mouth. Inhale, arms come up overhead, fingertips to touch one more time. Place those palms together. Palms come down through heart center. Inhale through the nose. Flutter it out of the mouth, helping to relax the face. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. This time as you exhale, bring that right hand down onto the left thigh or onto the left knee. Bring that left arm behind you like a kickstand, like a second spine. As you inhale, feel that lengthening of the spine. As you exhale, gaze over that left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center, bring those arms up overhead. Exhale, twist your way over to the right. Left hand comes onto that right thigh or that right knee. Place that right hand behind you like a kickstand. Stay for one cycle of breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. And place the hands on the thighs or maybe on the knees, coming into that comfortable seat. We're going to make our way through some seated cat-cows, but first let's start by shrugging the shoulders up to the ears and rolling them down the back, helping to open things up in the shoulders. Let's do that again. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears, roll them down the spine. To make our way into this seated cow, we press the palms into the thighs or the knees. We open the heart, start to bring the gaze towards the sky. Take one inhale. And on your exhale, start to tuck the chin into the chest, round the spine. Shoulders start to hug the body a little bit. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Let's do that one last time. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Come back to center, come back to that neutral spine. We will work a little stretches into our neck here. Bring that right ear over towards that right shoulder. Little stretch here. You can stay right here. Maybe you start to take that gaze of the left eye up towards what would be the 11 o'clock. Take one cycle of breath here. Bring that gaze back to neutral and bring that head back to center. Bring the left ear over to the left shoulder. Either staying here or maybe take that gaze to the 1 o'clock. Just a little gentle stretch. Something you can do while seated at your chair, at your desk, or on the couch. Come back to neutral, come back to center. And make your way onto your mat, coming into a tabletop. I will place my pillow off to the side. So in our tabletop, we bring the palms down onto the mat. We bring the weight into the thumbs and the forefingers. Maybe you make a little cupping with the hands to take some of the weight off of the center of the palm. The knees are under the hips. The toes can be tucked, or the tops of the feet can come to the mat. This is a personal preference as to what feels best for your body, which is how I always suggest that you move. What feels good for you. Coming into this tabletop, maybe you start to rotate the hips in one direction, moving slowly, moving gently. Take just a couple of circles here, and then move those circles in the other direction. If this does not feel comfortable, you are welcome to do some figure eights, or maybe you come back to that cat-cow. Come back to that neutral spine here. Tuck the right toes onto your mat. Slide that right leg out so that it is long behind you. I'm going to move just a little so you can see the entire length of my leg. Make sure that all 5 toes are down on the mat, including that little tiny toe. We forget about that toe, and we so often forget about the bottoms of our feet. We stretch out the bottom of the right foot. We stretch out the back of the right leg here. On your next inhale, bring that left arm to point towards the front of your mat. The left palm faces the right side of the mat. Feel this opposing stretch. Maybe you lift the right toes off the mat. Keep the toes pointed down, helping to square off the hips. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release everything back down to the mat. So that we can now switch sides. We slide the toes of the left foot behind us, lengthening in that left leg, pressing into the toes, feeling that stretch. When you're ready, bring that right arm long in front of you. Right palm faces the left side of the mat. And maybe the left toes come up off the mat. Keeping those toes pointed down, squaring off the hips. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release. Sit your way back into a child's pose. In child's pose, we bring the knees wide. We sit the hips back onto the heels. Stretch those fingertips out. Maybe the forehead comes down to the mat. Maybe you rock that forehead side to side, massaging it into the mat. Maybe the elbows rest. Take one more cycle of breath. Start to roll your way back up, coming almost into a tabletop. The hands are out a little further than a tabletop. Tuck the toes, tip the hips, make your way into a downward facing dog. In your down dog, again, that weight comes into the thumbs and the forefingers. We shine the insides of the elbows towards the front of the mat. See how my shoulders are moving here? We kind of hug them in. This allows that elbow to point towards the front of the mat. Keep the knees soft so as to not lock out in the legs, not to cause any discomfort or pain. Maybe you drop the head, press the palms into the mat, bend deeply in the knees, bring the belly to the tops of the thighs. Take 2 cycles of breath here. Start to walk the feet towards the center of the mat. Walk the hands back to meet those feet. Come to hang heavy in that forward fold. We bring the belly to the tops of the thighs. We drop the head. Allow the neck to feel long. Maybe you grab opposite elbows, releasing any tension you may be feeling in the low back. Release that grip of the elbows on an inhale. Slowly roll your way to standing. Coming up into Tadasana. In Tadasana, we root the feet firmly into the mat. We lift the knees, we engage the thighs, shrug those shoulders up to the ears, roll them down the back, shine the palms towards the front of your mat. Maybe you close the eyes. Ground those feet down. Take one more cycle of breath here. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead, fingertips to touch, tiny back bend. Palms come together down through heart center. One more cycle of breath. Inhale, arms come back up overhead. Exhale, come down to center. One more time. Inhale, arms overhead. Palms come down together through heart center. Take one more inhale here, and on your exhale, start to dive your way down towards the legs, taking a forward fold. I will shift so that you can get that side view here. From your forward fold, press those palms down into the mat. Step back with that right foot and bring the right knee down onto the mat. Bring the hands onto that lift knee. You can stay right here, or you can bring the arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana, a low lunge. Bring the hands back down to the earth. Lift that right knee. Step forward with that right foot. On your inhale, bring the fingertips to the shins, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with that left foot. Bring the left knee down. Hands come to the right knee when you're ready. And maybe they come up overhead. Hands come back to the earth. Lift that left knee. Step forward with the left foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Place those palms down. Step back, coming back into that tabletop position. And once again, you are welcome to take some free movement. Figure eights may start to feel nice now that we've started to move the body a little bit. Taking just a few cycles of breath here. Maybe you stretch yourself sort of in a banana-like shape so that you're opening that right side body. And then you shift the hips over to the left, opening that left side body. Start to walk the hands out, bring the elbows down. Keep those hips high. The hands can walk out further for this puppy pose. This is, again, personal choice. How does your body feel? Maybe you drop the head. Maybe the forehead makes its way to the mat. Bring the forehead off the mat. Start to walk those right hands, or both hands rather, over to the right. Maybe you press down into the mat, bringing the chest down a little further. Walk the hands back towards center. And then make their way over towards the left. You can always rest the head in the crook of that left elbow. Walk the hands back to center. And start to walk the hands back towards the knees, coming to that comfortable seat as we started. Maybe this changes. Maybe you feel more flexibility in the body after moving for just a few minutes. Palms can come to the thighs, or come to the knees. Wherever this feels most comfortable for you. Maybe you bring your right hand to your heart, your left hand over top. Hook your thumbs here, kind of like a butterfly. Breathe into your heart, taking that deep inhale and sigh it out of the mouth. If you have closing the eyes, maybe open them now. Take a moment to give yourself some thanks for taking the time to take care of yourself. So often we forget about ourselves. I thank you for joining me for a 10-minute timeout. Keep watching and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you, and namaste.